So that is...
How much further did it go up by?
For people like Rebecca Nichols, life isn't getting any easier. Shopping at Food Bank once a week, relying on free food donations and living in a small house in Perth's southeast with 9 other people.
I don't understand how yours is so cheap.
The overcrowding effect on people's well-being, their mental well-being, their physical well-being is very real.
We first met Rebecca in May last year while investigating the impact of cost of living and housing pressures.
Handouts are great and I appreciate them to be a hand up for a certain period of time, but long term it doesn't actually help because that money disappears.
She was doing her best to provide for her 4 kids while living in her sister's home temporarily with her sister, her brother-in-law and their 3 kids. But she's still there and hasn't been able to secure social housing.
So my 11-year-old sleeps usually at the top, and then my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old and my 6-year-old. There is a level of feeling inadequate as a parent, that you cannot provide what would be considered to be a comfortable living space.
It's not just social housing. Perth's rental market is also under strain, being driven by high demand and high pricing.
We're seeing more and more renters unable to afford their properties, and that's really resulting in additional homelessness.
Homelessness remains present throughout the city and broader WA with unprecedented delays in access to social housing. People have been sleeping rough here at Lake Joondalup, some in cars overnight, in the toilets or in tents in the bush. It's the reality for hundreds across Perth right now who can't afford to have a roof over their heads. 58-year-old Chris has been sleeping in his car for 8 years, regularly cooking his breakfast on one of the barbecues at Lake Joondalup. He didn't want to be interviewed, but he was happy to share his story.
Largely, the issue in the housing market is a supply-side issue. We need building approvals to rise, we need that social housing to come on board, we need an increase in density in appropriate places.
Labor launched its re-election campaign with a joint federal-state $443 million commitment increasing social and affordable homes across WA.
What we are doing is focusing on the issues which matter to Western Australians, and one of those key issues is housing.
Labor, the Liberals and Nationals have all pledged to boost housing supply in the regions, but the Liberals have taken a different approach, offering first homeowners stamp duty concessions and offering older Western Australians rebates to downsize.
Western Australians have experienced the largest boom in WA's history, and yet it's never been tougher for first home buyers to get in the market.
Like Rebecca, voters will be thinking carefully about who's promising what and how it will help them.
I will say I am grateful to be in a home at all rather than in my car or in a tent somewhere else. But there are a lot of pressures of putting 2 families into one home.
And while solving the housing crisis won't be an easy task, the next steps taken by the incoming government will be crucial. Courtney Withers, ABC News.